Hi, this is a 7-minute summary of our class in CRST 471A on Monday. So we're looking at the problem that Christians who are educated were looking down on those who are not educated. And I'm using as an example of that Syntyche, who grew up worshiping idols. She thinks it's horrible to get near idols. But then there's Sophina. Sophina is an educated Christian. She understands that idols are nothing. She understands there's no danger in going to an idol's temple for food. So here is the idol's temple. Here is Syntyche. She grew up worshiping idols. Well, she did too. They both did. But she is really bothered by the idea that Sophina is going into this temple and is eating food there. Let's see if we can understand why. Sophina is a higher caste Christian. And when Syntyche sees her eating in the temple, Syntyche over here would love to come back to the temple to eat. She's lost many idol-worshiping friends. Now, this is the thing they remember, who condemn her for becoming a Christian. But Syntyche is very, very tempted to go back so she can be with her friends. She can have those relationships, but she knows that those relationships and that whole world that she was in, which is right here at this table, she knows that that whole world is just going to draw her right back into worshiping idols again, right back into trusting idols. So she sees her friend Sophina here. Sophina is a Christian. Syntyche is a Christian. Syntyche knows, or no, so Sophina knows that an idol is nothing. There's no danger with an idol. But Syntyche really would like to get back to be where she used to be. So here's the problem that Paul's dealing with in the book of 1 Corinthians. This terrible problem where Christians are educated and they are influencing Christians who are not really educated well. They're influencing them to go back into the temple because the educated Christians know that an idol is nothing, but that's not good enough. So when Paul talks about it, he has lots to say about this. He talks about the Lord's Supper and about the most important thing to see in this Lord's Supper is the fact that all of the people who eat the Lord's Supper together, we are all partnering together. We all belong together as we eat the Lord's Supper. The Lord's Supper binds us together as one. In the same way, eating in a temple of an idol will tend to bind you together with those who are worshiping idols. It's going to be really hard for you to break those ties. And he says that you cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of demons. You cannot share in the Lord's, and that word share is the word koinonia, which has this idea of partnership in the Lord's table and the Lord's and the table of demons. So that's the thing that Paul's dealing with. Now, we don't have much time here, so I'm going to just jump right in. Remember that in the marketplace, there were stalls, tables, where people were selling meat from Athena, and another table would be selling meat from Zeus. And this wasn't just once a year, this was every single day. And if there were 15 or 20, even probably more than that, 20 or 30 temples in Corinth, there were 20 or 30 different tables where they were selling meat. They would sacrifice the meat in the temple of Athena. They would sacrifice the meat in the temple of Zeus. They would sacrifice the meat in the temple of Mars, and then they would sell it. Now, for a Christian knows that it's nothing because an idol is nothing. The Christian knows that Zeus isn't really real. A Christian knows, of course, that there are demons there in that temple, but a Christian also knows that the earth is the Lord's and all it contains, and the Christian does not have to be afraid of meat that's been sacrificed in a temple. However, idol worshippers don't know that. And so Paul says, eat everything that is sold in the meat market, asking no questions for the conscience sake, for the earth is the Lord's and all that is in it. God owns that meat. God owns that temple. And so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be afraid about it. God is over all. He owns it. There's no danger in it. So you can eat it. But and if one of the unbelievers invites you over and you want to go, eat anything that's set before you without raising questions of conscience. It might be sacrificed to Athena, it might be sacrificed to Zeus. And why would they do that? Well, they would buy this meat, these unbelievers, these idol worshippers would buy the meat because they want the power of Athena. That's why they do it. They're looking for idol given blessing. The idol gives them blessing. And so they feel like the blessing has come out of the idol into the meat. And then when you eat the meat, the blessing comes from the meat into your life. And so you're going to eat this because you want to get the blessing from that idol. But Paul says, if an unbeliever invites you over and you want to go, eat everything that's set before you without raising questions of conscience. Don't worry about it. It's not an issue. Now, verse 28 says, but if someone says to you, this food is offered to an idol, do not eat it out of consideration for the one who told you and for conscience sake. I do not mean your own conscience, but the other person's. And that's the key. Because if an idol worshiper says, well, this meat has power in it, it's from Athena, and you eat that meat, that idol worshiper is going to assume that you're trying to get the power from Athena. I mean, the people who worship Zeus, if they went to someone's house and the person said, hey, I've got this meat, it's from Athena, the person who worships Zeus is going to take that meat and eat it because they also want Athena's power, because they believe in all the gods. Every god's the same, I mean, not all the same, but they all give some kind of blessing or benefit. And so, hey, let's give me Athena's meat. Oh, give me Zeus's meat. Give me Mars's meat. Let's do it. Because for them, they see the gods as real. So you as a Christian, if an unbeliever tells you as a Christian, this meat has been sacrificed to an idol, and therefore the power of that idol has come out of that idol into this meat, and if you eat it, it's going to come into you.
I'm reminding you. Stop talking, Bob.
So what that means is, therefore, if an idol worshiper says this meat has been sacrificed to an idol and the blessing from the idol has come into the meat, don't eat the meat. Now, that's not what happens here in Pakistan. No one is saying that there's blessing that comes out of an idol and goes into the meat. Therefore, you need to keep that in mind when we deal with these kinds of questions. Okay, well, Amazon told me that I'm done, and so I hope you have a great day, and I hope that this makes sense. If you have any questions, you can write to me about it.